Hi, my name is Dr. John Douillard, and I want to talk to you today about vitamin D. You know, about 10 to 15 years ago, researchers went to the equator and they measured folks' vitamin D, and they found that their levels were significantly higher than folks up here in the north. On average, here in the north, folks have about 10 to 20 to 30 nanograms per milliliter of vitamin D in their blood. At the equator, they were 60, 70, and 80 nanograms per milliliter in the blood. And the normal range is about 10 or 20 to 30, all the way up to 100 nanograms per milliliter. Anywhere in there is considered normal. So what they found is that people at the equator, not only did they have higher levels of vitamin D, but they had significantly less chronic issues. Blood sugars were more stable, heart health was better, immunity was better. So they started investigating what the vitamin D did in their blood that was different to the vitamin D up here. And when they first discovered the vitamin D in the 20s, it looked very much like a hormone, but it acted very much like a vitamin. So they actually called it a vitamin, and it protected the body against rickets and did vitamin kinds of things. When that level of vitamin D in the blood reaches 45 or 50 or above, it seems to take on a different role. It begins to function more as a hormone, which it actually is, a corticosteroid hormone, a very powerful steroid hormone. And in that regard, it's involved in many different factors, such as supporting immunity, supporting blood sugar, supporting skin health, heart health. It targets over 2,000 different genes. I mean, the research on what vitamin D at optimal levels is phenomenal. And optimal levels are considered now to be about 50 to 80 nanograms per milliliter. You want to be in that target zone. And that's why it's a great idea to have your vitamin D levels measured. Always ask your doctor when you get a physical, please take my vitamin D levels. And it's great to take it at the end of the summer and also at the end of the winter. At the end of the winter, it's a long drought. You see, vitamin D, we get it from the sun only when the sun is perpendicular to the earth. So if you're at the equator, you're in luck. But here in the north, anything over north of Atlanta, in the winter, the sun is too low in the sky, and the UVB rays actually get broken down in the atmosphere. Even in the summertime, morning rays, the sun is too low. Evening rays, the sun is too low. It has to be perpendicular rays. So not a lot of us spend time in the middle of the day in the summer because that's when the sun is actually too hot, and we protect ourselves, not to mention cars and houses and offices. We really don't get the sun that we were genetically designed to have. And when you really think about, vitamin D, if vitamin D is the only vitamin we get from the sun, and it is, that we know of, then to think that its only benefit for us is to protect us from rickets, it's a little bit naive to think that that's all we get. And now we know that when vitamin D is optimized, the levels are a little bit higher, that you have all these incredible benefits from vitamin D. So it's very important to optimize your levels. And I suggest making sure you get tested. We have a home test kit if that's difficult for you to go to the doctor, and it's about half the price of a blood test. But just to know that it's very important not to overshoot the runway and have too much vitamin D. It's definitely, not good to have too little. So you want to be right in that zone. During the summer months, you're not going to need, obviously, as much vitamin D as you would need in the winter. So please take a look at the article associated with this video. Learn more about the benefits of vitamin D, how to make sure you maximize your levels and optimize your vitamin D, particularly in the winter, but you don't want to not have enough vitamin D in the summer as well, because folks, most of us don't get out in the summer. We put sunscreens on, we block the sun. We've been told for a long time that the sun is bad for us. And of course, in excess, too much sun is definitely bad for us, but the right amount is essential. We thrive. Every living creature thrives on sunlight, and so do we. Thanks for listening. I'm Dr. John Douillard.